everybody, this is Melissa, your free range psychic. Today is January 8th, 2023. I still have my tree up. I'll probably keep it up for a while. I hate taking it down. So it'll be up for a while longer. And we just passed the anniversary of January 6th, 2023. And oh my God, what a way for the new year to start off. That was a clown show. Did you see the fight between Matt Gaetz and I think it was Congressman Rogers? What if they hadn't held him back? Matt Gaetz, I hate saying this, but he deserved he deserved what was coming to him. Yeah, crazy. And I know people are like, oh no, can 2023 just not be like 2022 or 2021 or 2020? Why is this happening? But I think that there is we're seeing what it is. It is the continuation of what has been, and there needs to be resolutions that have not happened yet. And so my reading is going to be on the GOP, the embarrassing fight, 15 rounds until Senator McCarthy was able to gain his speakership. And just remember that he did not get 218 votes. He didn't get that. He couldn't. But because of the math and the seven, the gang is seven, just voting present instead of voting for him, the math worked out so he could finally get it. And I think that people were just wanting, the majority of the Congress just wanting to get things going because people have to be sworn in and trained, and there's legislation, and there's, the task of governing our country, and they hold the purse strings. Certainly there are loopholes in that election that need to be, or in Senator McCarthy's, if you want to call it, election as House Speaker, they need to be addressed for any House Speaker. We need to have a system that doesn't allow for the potential that we're not going to have an effective House. Or maybe I meant to say effective House of Congress people. Didn't you love Katie Porter sitting there reading How to Not Give an F? She was reading that book. At first I thought that was, I can't remember the term for it, like shop, whatever, like put in there as a joke. But no, I think she was really reading that book. So, okay, I'll get on with the reading. Ciro Marchetti, the tarot cards, and we have an oracle card from the Whispers of Healing deck that was chosen by the guides. The deck is by Angela Hartfield, which I've used a lot, right? And in this reading, I asked my guides to show me the cards and then tell me what they mean. So this card, the subject card is the Tower, and that's McCarthy falling out of the tower. So as I was touching upon, this is the continuation of this attempt by the KGB, I think they're called the KGB Republicans, or this party that seems to be owned by Putin and Saudi Arabia and others. An attempted insurrection, a continued insurrection or attempt at, and because McCarthy was so weak-willed and so complicit, I would say, in what happened in terms of the attempted coup and all these related incursions into voters' rights in all the different states, including New York and Florida and Ohio, where the gerrymandering maps are not constitutional. And then, of course, somebody like George Santos, who's recruited, who's completely unqualified to be in that position as a congressperson in every way, shape, and form. They lied, they cheated, they gaslit to get him in. This is what happens. It's a fractured party, and they're trying to fracture our democracy. And you have McCarthy then dealing with the karma of that, where he can't get in. He just can't get his position because of now you have these this split off, really ultra MAGA, or not. I don't know. I think they're aren't they neo MAGA now? Party that led by Gates and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Boebert. Although Marjorie Taylor Greene did, I think he persuaded by Trump, who wanted McCarthy and ended up backing McCarthy. But then who's left over? You have 20, including Boebert, Gates, Gottsart, Perry, Jim Jordan, and others. And they're just causing havoc here, and they want all kinds of stupid rules that continue to threaten to endanger our democracy, like only one person can call for or challenge the Speaker of the House and call for another election, and so forth and so on, and that's insane. Above here are the leaders of that group trying to take over our democracy, working so assiduously for Vladimir Putin, etc. And my guide said these five are Boebert, Perry, Gottsart, Gates, and who's the other one? I did write it down here. Oh yeah, they say Marjorie Taylor Greene's in here too, because they're fighting, right? They're infighting. They're not unified fighting against their rhino colleagues and the Democrats. They're actually now taking different sides and vying for power, vying probably for seats on various committees that are powerful that they want. So it's chaos, and there's no unity here. That's why they failed in the end. And I believe at least some of these people really wanted Jim Jordan to be the House Speaker, because they know he would go ahead and full speed on Hunter's laptop, etc. And they didn't get him. In fact, he was very unpopular. So I think they had this grandiose vision of what might happen, but that did not happen. In the past, this is the attack on our democracy that has continued really since before Trump was placed into power, which I would double down on, by Russia. And again, the guide's wanting us to link this with what happened on the 6th of January, anniversary of the 6th of January insurrection, and no real coincidence there, but my guides did remind me also that is when the transition of power does happen, so of course it would all culminate around, that time. Sorry. My eyes are watering a little bit. So, yeah. And this is Putin, this is Saudi Arabia, this is our other enemies. I know what my guide said. This is our enemies, foreign and domestic, trying to topple our government. Underneath, then, the devil and all this comes from this source. So it wasn't just some kind of random thing that Gates and Boebert, etc., had this, their kabuki theater or whatever that happened to try to, think about it. Our government was stalled, literally stalled for that period of time. So that made us very vulnerable. And the people that want to be in power are wanting to withdraw money from Ukraine. I believe Putin very much has been a part of this, multi-pronged attack, so he can be successful in his venture. Meanwhile, his venture, whether he was successful here or not, that it really wouldn't have made a difference. Most of the money, I think, if not, or there's a great deal of money, that's what I should say, has been already promised to Ukraine and will go to Ukraine. That was in last year's budget. So they're taken care of. And Putin is ailing and sick, and his war is fizzling out. Even though, yes, he did do a major bombing attack on New Year's, or through the whole holiday, actually, it's still not going to make any difference. And he's still dying of cancer. And so here you have Putin continuing his war. He's so single-minded and so, I guess, intransigent, stubborn, and in delusion about what he thinks he can accomplish. But this is what's going to happen to Russia. I mean, their economy's sunk, and their war is failing. And it's interesting, not interesting, it's insidious, really, that there's so many people that were his supporters, like the oligarchs and his army people, that suddenly are dying out of falling out of windows or whatever it is, falling down the stairs. And this is still happening. It's not like something that just happened a few months ago and there was a spate of those. We're used to that with Putin. This is ongoing. So what I think, and the reason I speculate that this is happening, is because he's so weak that the only way that he can maintain power in his mind is, okay, it's not enough for me to be strong and have strong allies, etc. If you go against me, if you criticize me, or I perceive you criticize me or upset me in any way, even if you didn't mean to, you're dead. So he thinks he can control his government and his country because he can do that. That's what he's got. That's all he's got. But he thinks nobody wants to die, and you're going to shut up and you're going to do what I say, because otherwise you're going to die. But what kind of method is that? At some point, don't you run out of people? Are you the only one left in your bunker? In the future, my guides show me justice. Justice is really coming. I know we've heard this over and over again. And by the way, there's been like 1,000 arrests and successful charges that have been made against the insurrectionists who are, paying the price now, are in jail. 1,000. So they batted 100, the DOJ, the FBI. But this now is going to be augmented as we go to the higher echelons of criminals and criming in involvement in the January 6th, 2021 insurrection. Jack Smith he's coming to, he was in The Hague. I believe he was abroad, not in The Hague, wherever The Hague is in that area, recuperating from a serious bike accident, but now he's recovered, and he's flying in with some top-notch investigators and prosecutors, and this is now going to hit the higher echelons of our government. And that would include, I believe, Congress people and senators and other actors, including Trump, who were allegedly. Well, I hate saying allegedly. I mean, I'm going to say they were involved. We know they were involved. They come out and admit it. Really, they just justify it in the coup attempt and the ongoing coup attempt. And I know that we're frustrated. It would be great to see all these people put in places where they could not do harm to our government like they're doing. But that's not how the law works. It has to be done in a certain way. It's only been 2 years, even though those 2 years seem to feel like ever. And justice is coming in. Jack Smith is not playing. This is about to get really serious now. The clarification card is the Ten of Swords, and this is what this will ultimately result in, which is the destruction, the end of the insurrectionists. And we'll see it in real time. And my belief is, and I've asked my guides, but again, I have skin in the game. I really want this to happen. So it might make me not receive the information that is the reality. It might make me receive the information that I want. But the guides do, and they have told me this. I think when I had this interview with Valerie Dragonfly, and also Linda, and I asked the guides who's going to win the speakership, and both Valerie and I, well, Valerie threw cards, and then I asked my guides, and we both saw McCarthy winning, but not for very long. And even up to the 15th vote, I wanted it so much to be Hakeem Jeffries. Tell me we're going to have a coalition government and Hakeem Jeffries is going to be the House Speaker. But my guides held strong, or I was able to hear, not that I wanted to, but they continued to tell me that no, McCarthy's going to win at this time around. But they have told me from the get-go that the Democrats are going to take the House really quickly again, because there's such a small majority lead for the Republicans, and that is on shaky ground. Think how many were ostensibly or obviously involved in the insurrection. And I think it might be also, God forbid, but people getting sick or other family issues or whatever, but there's going to be a lot of those Republicans that just kind of skated in or got pushed in illegally through those unconstitutional gerrymandering district maps. I just don't feel they're going to hold the majority much longer. Maybe within a couple months, but time. I'm not great on time. That is again another resolution for this year, to work on getting better at time, or just be okay with not being okay with time. Maybe there's some things you don't really want to know exactly, when they're going to happen. Maybe that's okay. Maybe I just need to let up on myself. But so far, the impression I get is it's a couple months, or maybe by April, the House will be in Democratic hands again. And we will see Hakeem Jeffries as the majority speaker or leader. And oh, what a wonderful choice Pelosi made. But remember, Nancy Pelosi is still a congresswoman. She is still in Congress. And the Dems know what they're doing. They're watching all of this, and they're looking for the weaknesses, and they're going to win over certain Republicans for certain things. They've got they've got power. They're just figuring it out and seeing how the cookie crumbles, or where the the wheel stops, and then they're going to use whatever they can for their advantage. They're not just passively watching all this happen. Okay, so that is wait a minute. I forgot to add the wheel card. So this card came up for the outcome, and that's what I would have talking about, I should say, the changing of the guard again. This too shall pass. This is only temporary, and we're going to come into another cycle, and that will be the return of the Congress to the Democrats. That's a prediction. Outcome card. Okay, that is my reading, and I want you guys to hang strong and not feel defeated, or that, all this horrible stuff is going to happen. It's going to be okay. My guides want me to tell you that too. Things are going to work out better than we expect. Just hang tight there. Now we get our oracle card from the Whispers of Healing, and that card is well-being. I had marked the place in this book, and when I took that out, I lost my place. Okay. Well-being. Having an upbeat nature doesn't just happen. If you like to enjoy your life and maintain a positive outlook, it's important to take an enthusiastic approach. Staying positive and appreciative through life's dilemmas can prove difficult. Examine your approach to life. Reflect on how your lifestyle and with worldview impacts your attitudes and behaviors. Once you have clarity in these areas, you can let go of what is not effective and make change towards your wellness. Make a real effort to change your unhealthy habits. Through this process, you will be able to determine what is essential to you. As you alter your behavior, you will enjoy a sounder body, mind, and spirit. This will mean balancing your relationships and work, finding healthy channels where you can spend your time more favorably and enjoyably. Well-being. So that's a good card to get at the beginning of the year. It feels to me like New Year's was like months ago, and it was only a week ago. Also, it's Mercury retrograde, just to remind everybody, and that has kind of hit me hard. But I have to respect Mercury retrograde. I don't get away, and nobody gets away, I think, without having some kind of impact. And Mercury retrograde is meant for us to go inwards to not, so often we just kind of get mechanized and everything just goes according to plan and, road, and we take for granted all these things, and then Mercury retrograde comes in and your phones don't work, or your computer doesn't work, or you forget to answer an email, etc. But the solutions to these issues, you end up going through, actual human interaction sometimes, or a process where you're looking for something you lost and then you find something else that you forgot you had, and it brings more depth and texture to your life and reminds you are a spirit, a soul in this world, not just a robot, not just a mechanical being. Okay, guys, I will remind you that I am available for personal readings. You can find my information below or at the end of the musical interlude. I love you. You guys take care. I will see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.